Okay. This is Corey Malloy, and I am the HR director at Connector Tech. I'm very excited to be a part of this presentation and have the opportunity to join with some of these other companies as out there in Kalispell, explore whether you would be a good fit. So today I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company, who we are, who our clients are, what you'd be doing when working for us, and kind of what skill sets we would be looking for. And then, of course, I'll finish with how you would go about applying. So I'm going to switch into my presentation now. So Connector Tech we specialize in the manufacture and distribution of connectors and cable assembly. So our primary focus is harsh environments, technology, and applications. So we are dealing with industrial, geophysical, military, and aerospace applications. So here's some of a broad survey view of some of who our markets and customers are. And it's really exciting to be a part of this high-tech technology. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see that we have some pretty prestigious clients, and we're pretty proud of our connections with them. Boeing, Gulfstream, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Sikorsky, Raytheon, and to name a few, are some of our heavy hitters. And what that translates for you is a COVID-proof kind of work environment. We are rapidly expanding. We anticipate a doubling in growth of our company over the next several years. So that's going to be job security for you. If you choose to join our team, you'll be looking for a long-term, full-time job with plenty of opportunities for growth. Briefly, I just wanted to touch base, bring your attention to this screen. I want to bring your attention to 1999. Connector Tech was actually built in 1999 here in Kalispell, so everybody would have heard of us as Connector Tech if they're familiar with us. But we have been purchased in 2019 by BJG. So that means we are now located all over the United States. We are part of a much larger team. And again, we will be doubling in size over the next 2 years. Lots of expansion, job security again. We provide a lot of cable assemblies, but this is just kind of an overview of some of the products that we supply and the projects that we kind of work on. A lot of tech assemblies, different types of assemblies. You can kind of see some of the equipment that you'd be working on. This is mostly, I wanted to kind of give you a visual so you could see kind of the environment that you could maybe picture yourself being a part of. Our locations are now located in Kalispell. We have our home office in New York. We've got multiple sites around the company, and actually we're missing one in California. BJG has recently purchased another company in California. So lots of opportunities for people within the company to move from site to site, as well as to expand in their roles as we continue to expand as a company. Here's some typical assemblies. If you are somebody that has maybe a military background, any kind of soldering, cable assembly experience, you know, we find some gentlemen that have, or women that have fly tying experience, or maybe jewelers that have done a soldering kinds of experience, do very well. There's a lot of fine motor skills involved in assembling these cables. These cable assemblies, these are some samples of some of the kinds of things that we build. And they're used everything from attaching to helicopters in mid-flight, jet fueling, to tanks on the ground, you name it. We've got all of these harsh things that are exposed to lots of harsh environments, extreme weather and temperature situations. That's what we're known for, and our military specs. Here's the anatomy of one of these cable assemblies, just one, and there's maybe hundreds of steps to building something like this. But a lot of stakes are riding on it. I mean, if it's a military application, we cannot have any room for failure. So there's lots of quality inspection, lots and lots of pieces to building this little assembly here. In just this end of the assembly, you might have several hundred pieces. You'd be looking at, if you're working on this, you'd be working from a recipe, kind of a book, following it step by step, without any room for error. Lots of repetitious kinds of movements. You have to be able to have color, be able to not have any color vision issues, and you'd have to be able to follow those schematics pretty accurately and with a lot of attention to detail. Again, here's a little bit more about the job description. When people ask us, what would I be doing and what are specifically some of the skills that I would be needing? The tasks that you will be expected to be engaged in: wire stripping, crimping, soldering, wire cutting, measuring. You're going to be using the tools that are described here: hand strippers, crimpers, cutters, solder irons, X-Acto knives, and heat guns. Now, we do provide some training and some certifications because, again, with some of our military applications, we have to be certified in some of those steps. We would provide some of that training for you. I do want to bring your attention to a few things. Prior to a pre-employment, you would be subjected to a drug test, background check, color assessment test, and a ruler test. Also, if you have any sensitivity to alcohol at the workstations or epoxies, any of those kinds of things, or latex gloves, that might be something that you would want to let us know so we could work with you on that. What do we have to offer? Connector Tech is a pretty darn great place to work. You have very flexible shifts that work with your lifestyle. You can choose from one of 3 shifts. So after your initial training, which we would provide the training for several weeks, kind of working at your individual skill level, you can choose to work Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 for an 8-hour shift. You can work the B shift, 5 a.m. to 3:30, which is 4 10-hour days. And a lot of people love that. They have the opportunity to have a 3-day weekend. That's a huge benefit for achieving that life balance. And C, we have a 4 p.m. to 2:30 shift, which is a 10-hour shift. And I want to point out, if you work the evening shift from 4 p.m. to 2:30 a.m., you then also get a 15% wage differential for each hour worked, which gives you an extra several dollars, $1.50 to $2.50 an hour for that, for working that C shift. Plus, because of the expansion, we have overtime, overtime, overtime. You will not be sent home early. You will have all the overtime pretty much that you're going to be able to work. Our wages, we look at $13 to $15 an hour to start. And again, that depends on your experience. So what's wonderful about this company is that they're always looking for skill sets. So as people are out on the floor, they might be particularly good in working on one type of assembly for one client. We're going to move them to where their skills and their interests and their motivation is. There is lots and lots of opportunity for raises and growth. So if you start at $13 to $15 an hour, we will review you again at 90 days for an increase. And of course, that's on top of the shift differential and the overtime. When I talk about the opportunities for growth, again, with the business expansion, we're going to be looking for quality inspectors, leads, shift supervisors. Those are all different kinds of positions that you can kind of look forward to moving around within the company here locally and to move on up the ladder a little bit. One thing that I pointed out, one thing that has been appreciated, I've had comments from several of the people working here. They love that they're given an individualized workstation. So you have all your tools at your own workstation with plenty of space, a place to hang your hat, so to speak. And, that's just a nice little thing to have. Our benefits, we do have medical, dental, vision, paid time off. You've got the paid holidays, and I'm going to be running short of time, so I can expand on more of this, certainly during an interview or on hire. Tuition reimbursement, this is wonderful. Several of our younger employees want to go back to school to become engineers. They have a $5,000 tuition reimbursement for your undergrad, And certainly if you choose to go on to grad school for some of these engineering positions, there's an $8,000 tuition reimbursement. So that's a pretty good incentive. We believe in investing in our employees. We want you here long term. Many of the people that work here have worked here for 10 years plus. We also offer life insurance and 401k. So finally, if you are interested in applying, I want you to contact me directly. And I'm going to, this is the phone number at the bottom of the screen. And I have I have my email posted. So if you could send your resume to that email, that's the process. Send the resume to cmalloy@bjgelectronics.com, and that's your starting point. And then I will give you a call and we can schedule an interview probably within, I would say 48 hours, you'll be contacted by us, and we can set up that interview and get you to work within a week if you are electing to join our team. And I hope that you will consider to join our team. We're looking to build on our little family here. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.